What's going on, guys? Happy New Year. Hope you guys are having a good New Year so far. So we're gonna be talking about the fight or flight stress response. What is a stressor? A situation that the person experiences as a threat in some way, shape, or form. This is a question for you guys. What are some of your stressors that cause anxiety? For me, I would have to say, when my house is dirty, I feel like I'm gonna get yelled at, because it's when I was younger, I would get yelled at for not. It could be like the simplest thing, like a cup or a plate or something, and I would get yelled at, or my brother or sister would get yelled at. My mom would be like, "Oh, why the fuck is that cup not in the sink?" or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And it just triggers that. So I'm always on edge about that. Like I said in the previous video, when it could be anyone, to be honest with you, they're trying to pat my shoulder or something, I flinch every time, because of all the abuse and stuff I had to deal with as a child. So those are just some of the stressors that cause anxiety for me. There are a lot more. Sometimes when I'm around people, I'm trying to get better at this, trying to just get friendly and not awkward as fuck around people, just everyday people, at my job, or just out in general. You know what I'm saying? Just write down some of your stressors that causes your anxiety to trigger or start. So just to help you guys, just to figure out all your shits, just trying to help out in any way I can. Hopefully these videos have helped you in some way, shape, or form. I know I'm not a professional by any means, but from experience, what is the stress response? Our bodies typically being managed by the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the rest and digest system, maintaining stability of our psychology. In instance of real threat or danger, our sympathetic nervous system kicks in and will initiate the stress response. This response involves a complex set of psychological changes that help us deal with the stressors by allowing our body to quickly mobilize our responses to help us deal with the threat at hand. And another question, what are some examples of physical changes experienced with stressful response when you feel you are in danger? For example, for me, when I get questioned or anything like that, I get hostile. Not really bad hostile. It really depends on how severe it is, but if you're coming at me, I'm gonna just hit back. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I don't know, it's not really good, but it's just how, unfortunately, my body works. So that's just one example. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Here are some examples of stress responses. Heart rate increase to supply the body with blood that it needs. Respiratory rate increase. More blood is diverted to large muscles so that you can run faster or get away from danger, or to defend yourself if need be. You sweat to cool down the body. This is the fight or flight stress reaction, and is designed to mobilize your physical resource to allow you to fight or flee in the face of real danger. What are some examples of situations that should initiate the flight or fight stress response? Well, let's say you get in a fight or something, or maybe you are camping and there's a dangerous animal, a cougar or a bear or wolf or some shit, and you gotta act on your feet or something. That could be examples. Let me know down below, or let's write down some examples that you guys think should initiate the fight or flight stress responses. And here's another question. What are some examples of situations that would not be adaptive or most effective to experience the fight or flight stress response? I'll leave a little bit of spaces, or whatever you want to call it, just so you guys can write down some stuff or just talk within your head. When does anxiety become a problem? The fight or flight stress response is helpful when there is actual danger present. However, it becomes an issue when the perceived danger is not actually dangerous or life-threatening, and individuals begin to avoid situations in which it may be beneficial for them to engage. When anxiety increases in response to a non-threatening event, for example, like giving a presentation at work or getting a new job, like going in for the interview to get the new job, and your stress response tells you to flee, so you call in sick or you just make up an excuse that you can't go. What do you not experience, or what do you not learn? On the other side of the curve, yes, anxiety probably will have increased a little bit more as you got closer to the presentation, but it would have eventually decreased, and you would have learned that the event was not dangerous. By reacting to the perceived danger with avoidance, it limits your ability to learn that the threat was not dangerous. So it's not always like a bad thing. For me, like I used to when I was in college, I think it was my second to last semester I did of schooling, I had to take public speaking, and the first presentation I did, I was like looking down and all that, like, oh man. For me, I don't know why, but when I'm doing a presentation with people I know, I'm more anxious than with people that I don't know. I don't know why that is, but I don't know, that's just how my brain works, I guess. Try to think of anxiety as being a smoke alarm system. A smoke alarm can help protect you when there is an actual fire. However, sometimes the smoke alarm system can go off when there isn't a fire. Like, for example, if you burn your food, or you're smoking, I don't know, just examples, dogs. Often anxiety builds and spreads over time. As one starts to avoid more and more of the situations that trigger the anxiety, this can cause your world to shrink, and situations that used to feel manageable to become overwhelming and anxiety producing. Anxiety becomes a problem when it leads to significant distress and or impairment to your ability to function. What are some common types of anxiety? Specific phobias, fear or specific triggers such as heights of spiders. For me, I'm claustrophobic. Not really bad per se, but I see those people that go into the claustrophobic caves and shit. I'm not about that. You know what I'm saying? That's the only phobia I really have. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, dogs. Social anxiety disorder, anxiety in social situations, especially related to fear of judgment or embarrassment. Like I said, I'm awkward. My intentions are good, and I want everyone to be safe and shit. But when I'm out and about, if I'm by myself, I'm awkward as fuck. But it's alright. Generalized anxiety disorders. Excessive worry about a number of different topics, such as health or well-being of loved ones, problem occurrence of natural disasters, school, work performance, panic disorder, reoccurring unexpected panic attacks, and fear of having additional panic attacks. While not considered anxiety disorder in the current diagnostics manual, the following disorders are also associated with significant impairment anxiety. We got OCD, presence of intrusive or unwanted thoughts, impulses, or images, and or behaviors or mental acts done to reduce distress. Then we got PTSD, exposure to actual or threatened death, injury, or sexual violence with corresponding symptoms related to re-experiencing, like flashbacks, avoiding reminders of the trauma, and changes to the thoughts or moods, increased feelings of sadness, withdrawals. I have both of these from, I wouldn't say I really have OCD, but my mom has distilled it in me that I need to keep the house clean and stuff like that. For PTSD, I'm still working on it every day. Some days it's harder than others. Like I said in the last video, I came up in an abusive household. I was molested at a young age by a family member. My grandpa on my dad's side, fortunately that happened to me. I was in elementary school, I believe, like late elementary school. Yeah, dog, that's just some. I can go into detail about like everything and stuff like that if you guys really want to like deep dive into my head. So just let me know. Just like this video and I will do that for you guys. How do we effectively deal with anxiety? The anxiety and fear response is a normal adaptive system in the body that tells us when we are in danger or prepares us for upcoming events. This means that dealing with your anxiety never involves eliminating it, but really just managing it. How to manage anxiety? When experiencing excessive anxiety, we tend to be less effective in our ability to manage our world due to decreased attention and concentration. And remember back to the Yerkes and Dobson curve. The goal is to have a moderate or adaptive amount of anxiety in situations where this is appropriate, but not to have overwhelming and excessive anxiety that impairs functions. I can show you the chart again so you guys aren't like, dude, what chart are you even talking about, Bruce? You know what I'm saying? It has anxiety on the left, then time on the bottom. There are several ways we can manage anxiety. If anxiety is overwhelming and excessive, we can use relaxation skills to calm the stress response. This can help us to cope more effectively in the moment. Some specific relaxation skills that can be helpful include respiratory control, a particular style of breathing found to reduce anxiety, and deep muscle relaxation. It can also help to be aware of avoidance of anxiety producing situations and do your best to face situations that may be challenging but not too overwhelming. At times, problem solving strategies can also be very helpful to address situations associated with like increased anxiety. Alright, dogs, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I love y'all. Hope guys are enjoying the new year. Hope you guys look forward to like living your dream or like working towards your goals and stuff like that, whatever your goals may be for this year. I hope you guys achieve it. Just work your ass off. You can live your dream, whatever that may be. Just never give up. Failing is gonna happen. Just use that to learn and just push through. Never give up on yourself. You can do anything you set your mind to. Work towards your goals and your dreams. Anything's possible if you set your mind to it and you actually put in the work. I love y'all. Stay safe. I will see you in the next video.